you mentioned Clemson, next game up.
Mhm.
Do you know the name of South Carolina-Clemson rivalry? Is it the Palmetto State rivalry?
The Palmetto State rivalry. That is correct.
Okay, that's what I thought it was. 151, 152 on SBR odds right now, 7 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday. South Carolina at Clemson. Clemson laying 26 at home, 58.5 the total. I'm seeing bookmakers showing a 59. This is another one, Asher. I mean, you want to bring in the rivalry aspect and find ways to be on the Gamecocks. But is 26 enough for you? I mean, you just mentioned Clemson and Alabama way above everybody else. Do you think they're 26 points better than South Carolina?
I do, but let me just say one thing when it comes to when rivals meet with one another, throw out the record books, because that stat, or that line, I should say, couldn't be more BS when it comes to the Palmetto State rivalry. Since 1981, the better team has won this game 23-9-1. So I don't care about, these two teams hate each other. Traditionally, the better team always wins this game. And also, oh, by the way, Clemson is trying to match South Carolina's 5-game winning streak in the series. In fact, from 2009 to 2013, South Carolina won all those games. 2014 to now, Clemson's won all the games. But also, since we just talked about Alabama, Drew, and I talk about, and there's another team we're gonna get to in a minute, so I want to leave this out there. But just how I mentioned how it's Alabama and everybody else. Well, Alabama average win this year comes by 35.6 points this year. Do you know who the second best team is? Oh, it's Clemson, 32.6 average margin of victory this year. So they really are their own separate category. Also, one other thing to mention with South Carolina I thought was really interesting for those that think South Carolina can hang with Clemson. South Carolina averages 25 minutes and 49 seconds time of possession with the football this year. That ranks 126th in the country. So for those of you that think South Carolina can hang with Clemson and keep it close, you got to have the ball to do that. So I really like Clemson, and I'll let you go for a few minutes before I get into some more Clemson numbers, but you can see I'm going pretty heavily right now with Clemson.
Yeah, I mean, I would actually lean towards South Carolina, just considering the 26 points. And you know what? I don't know. I haven't gotten there. I feel really weird just kind of throwing that out for almost no reason other than what they have 3 straight covers in a row. That's against Ole Miss, Florida, UT Chattanooga, which you can't count. But I guess with the Florida win, they showed promise, just losing 31-35 in the Swamp. So you're going to get a similar type atmosphere. It's probably going to be a little bit more hectic there in Clemson. But South Carolina has shown, against lesser competition than Clemson to hang in there. Texas A&M, Florida, they beat Ole Miss. Georgia, they did get blown out. That's kind of the same caliber. That worries me. Will Muschamp, I guess you could say, coaching up the defense. They've had trouble with that side as well. I'm trying to find ways to get on the Gamecocks here and take the points, considering it is rivalry weekend. And you always got to be wary of that. Laying 26, it's really the only way it could look. And I do bring up Will Muschamp on the defensive side and them struggling on defense against better offenses. They're going to get one here in Clemson. I actually like the over rather than a side. I think it's a little low here. So I would lean over, Asher, but I don't have a strong opinion on the Palmetto rivalry here.
Yeah, Drew, and I think what you just said kind of hit on what I said a minute ago about the SEC. I think we get a little too focused on opponents and strength of schedule when it comes to actual SEC teams. But let me just throw out 2 more stats for you when it comes to the Clemson Tigers. They have won 6 straight games by 20 or more points. Also, they've scored 27 or more in 11 games in a row. Also, they've held opponents to 20 or less 6 games in a row. And oh, by the way, when it comes to this Palmetto State rivalry, the last time they played in Clemson, which was 2 years ago, they won by 49. Last year, they won on the road by 24. So I as much as I want to think that rivalry games, South Carolina, I just haven't seen enough from the Gamecocks. I think this is a blowout win for Clemson. The only thing, Drew, and this really is a concern, the only thing that concerns me for guys like Clemson and Alabama, as you know, we are now a week away from conference championships. These are 2 teams that just need to win. It doesn't matter how they look to get into their conference championship games of the playoff. They just need a win. So that is the only hesitation I would have, is that these are 2 teams, Bama and Clemson, that don't need marquee wins or big blow up wins, if you will, They just got to get the win.
Yeah, and you referenced the 2016 game in Clemson. That final score was 56-7. Clemson routed them. So they've shown the ability to cover these big numbers in this rivalry before. Really makes you point towards Clemson.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to our channel. Now, we've put a lot of work into producing all these free videos, so please help us out and keep all our content free for you forever by simply liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Now, not to mention, a visit to our industry-leading website will warm the hearts of all our SBR employees, especially myself. Now, the links are over there to the left, so do check those out. Thanks for watching.